In the most insane political whirlwind of my lifetime, Kamala Harris has replaced Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee for president. Republicans should not underestimate her. This is a tale of two Kamalas. As vice president, she was a bumbling buffoon. She speaks at a third grade level, with bizarre musings about coconut trees, electric school buses, and Venn diagrams.
I love Venn diagrams. I really do. I love Venn diagrams. It's just something about those three circles and the analysis about where there is the intersection, right?
Most people find it really annoying. There are so many memes about her. She's literally Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character on Veep.
Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time.
Whatever we have in store cannot be known. The past was once the future. The future is, I should say, unknown.
She botched her assignment as the border czar that was supposed to crack down on illegal immigration. She is a deeply unpopular vice president. Even her staff hate her. Over 90% of the staff Harris began her term with 3 years ago have since left. Media leaks stories that she was a joke even to Biden. The Atlantic wrote in October 2023, her first year on the job was defined by rhetorical blunders, staff turnover, political missteps, and a poor sense among even her allies of what exactly constituted her portfolio. Within months of taking office, President Joe Biden was forced to confront a public perception that Harris didn't measure up. Ultimately, the White House issued a statement insisting that Biden did, in fact, rely on his vice president as a governing partner. But Harris' reputation has never quite recovered. But then there was the other Harris, the California Attorney General, Senator, and presidential candidate. She was a power-hungry authoritarian. When she ran for president, she supported packing the Supreme Court. This is a radical idea that would transform the Supreme Court into a weapon of the ruling party. Harris does not care about our constitutional norms.
Are you open to expanding the size of the Supreme Court?
I am open to that discussion.
Harris vowed to issue a gun ban by executive order. And when Vice President Biden objected that the Constitution might be an obstacle to that, here's what she said.
Well, I would just say, hey, Joe, instead of saying no, we can't, let's say yes, we can.
Let's be constitutional.
Credit to Biden for having a conservative impulse there. Harris, on the other hand, would steamroll any constitutional barrier in her way. So yes, Harris would be worse than Biden. In 2017, Harris opposed Justice Neil Gorsuch's confirmation on the grounds that he was too concerned with the law to serve on the Supreme Court. She said that he, quote, valued legalisms over real lives. Until he dropped out of the race, Biden deployed Harris to go after Republicans on abortion. She's definitely going to make this the center of her campaign, too.
Let us all agree, one does not have to abandon their faith or deeply held beliefs to agree the government should not be telling her what to do with her body.
As California Attorney General, Harris targeted a pro-life activist who exposed Planned Parenthood's involvement in illegal fetal tissue trafficking. They raided his apartment. Harris then lobbied for the legislature to empower her successor to prosecute that activist for undercover journalism. Courts later threw out many of Harris's charges against the pro-lifer, but his legal battles are still ongoing.
In April of 2016, at the behest of Planned Parenthood, Kamala Harris ordered a search warrant served on my home.
As president, make no mistake that Harris can't wait to wield power recklessly. Harris wanted to rewrite immigration law via, you guessed it, executive order. She said she'd give Congress 100 days to send legislation to my desk to stop Big Pharma from raking in massive profits at the expense of Americans, or act via executive order. Don't forget this one.
So again, back to the United States Congress, here's my point. If they fail to act as President of the United States, I am prepared to get rid of the filibuster to pass a Green New Deal.
She also supported religious tests for public office. She once suggested that now District Court Judge Brian Bisher was unfit for office because he was a member of the Knights of Columbus, the all-male Catholic volunteer society. As a Catholic group, the Knights obviously are not cool with abortion. Her question was, were you aware that the Knights of Columbus opposed a woman's right to choose when you joined the organization? Harris also supported throwing 160 million Americans off of their private insurance, whether they wanted to be or not.
In your plan, eventually everyone would be taken off a private, the private plan that their company currently has.
Yes.
Her radicalism goes further. She supports spending trillions of dollars on race-based reparations. She is all in on illegal student loan bailouts, even more than Biden. If she's elected, our national debt will be apocalyptic. But the media has already thrown its weight behind Harris. This is after they gaslit the public for years that Biden was so agile and healthy that he was, as Scott Jennings put it, riding unicycles and juggling flaming bowling pins while writing 100 bills at a time behind closed doors. So this is really happening. The woman that was written off as unelectable is now going to face Donald Trump. She owns all the failures of the Biden administration. Now she also has to answer for being complicit in the cover-up of Biden's condition. She knew he was deteriorating rapidly but pretended like he wasn't. It's a scandal. But now it's a new ballgame. The rug has been pulled out from Republicans who now have to shift resources to attacking a different opponent. Trump is no longer competing against a geriatric empty vessel. Now Harris, who isn't even 60 yet, can claim she's the spring chicken, and Trump is the geezer who will be in his 80s in the next term. The GOP also just missed its chance to focus criticism on Kamala at the national convention in Milwaukee. She might be really bad at public speaking, but she lusts for power and is dangerously and extremely progressive. Republicans shouldn't underestimate her. If you want to know how this happened, how the Democratic establishment, lawmakers, donor class conspired with the media to oust Biden and substitute Kamala, click here.